They're going to destroy the forest.
We have to do something. Let our powers combine. Earth, fire,
Hide! With your powers combined, I am Captain Planet! Go Planet!
Alright, Brody. Thanks for donating, mate. I've actually known Brody for a long time. Possibly one of the longest people I've known on my friends list. And I was very thankful that he helped me out and donated some money. And so what I've chosen for you, because Brody said to me, he said, you know, what plant do you want? Is there anything specific? As I ask everyone who donates for the $30 Bandit cause to help feed me and to help enlighten the world on some plant aspects, I guess, as well. So every time you donate, I'll preferably want to plant perennials, which last longer than an annual plant. An annual plant, you plant it and it will die. It might reseed itself, which is kind of what the arugula is doing. It'll reseed itself and just keep coming back in the same sort of spot every time. So that also is a reason why I've put your arugula next to the arugula I already had, which we can see the yellow flower on. So thanks a lot, Brody, for helping me out. And I've chosen this one because Brody said to me he wanted a low maintenance plant for something for his kids. And also he lives in Melbourne, Australia, so it's a little bit colder down there than it is up here. So I had to do a little bit of research. So this should help a lot of people, this video. We're going to read out a couple of pages here. But essentially I chose this arugula, and what was the other one? Marshmallow I chose for you, Brody. So we'll walk over to the marshmallow, and then I'll read out these papers which actually contain information on all of on both and more. Also purslane. So that's marshmallow. Now I found out about this from growingyourgreens.com video by John Kohler, and he called it mallow, and he always sees it in videos when he goes visit someone else's garden, and then he'll say, you know, this is edible. So I found out it's called marshmallow, and mallow's more of the nickname, and it's called Althea officinalis. Althea officinalis. So it's just called marshmallow. That'll be its nickname. You can easily find it under. So that is very perennial, and it's hardy. So let's see what it says here on the little tag. So it says hardy perennial reaching 1.5 meters. So this is an actual perennial. The arugula just sort of reseeds itself, and I call it a bit of a perennial because it just keeps coming back and you only plant it once. Anyway, so this gets up to 1.5 meters, which I did not know. With long stems clothed with soft hairy leaves and numerous single lilac pink flowers in summer and autumn, tolerant of damp land or saline conditions. Root is used in cough remedies. Now, what I wanted to say was, this is probably a good one for down where you are, since it says cold, since it says hardy and so forth. And it's a perennial. It's going to be also quite low maintenance. You just want to give it a bit of water. But in the end, what I chose as my choice for you, like what's the low maintenance plant that I'm going to suggest to Brody? Well, Brody, the low maintenance plant that I'm actually suggesting is the arugula. I mean, this is also another one, so I'm just adding. But now we're going to go back over to the arugula, and this is the main one that I'm suggesting you because it's my favourite. Now it's my favourite because, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's get into this. So, can you see the flowers? Hold on, where is the flower? There. So that's the flower, and it's pretty, so it's good for little kids. And you can see the seeds there, and they'll just drop around and reseed themselves. So let's get into this. Low maintenance Purslane, I titled the document. That's only one thing in here. Okay, so there's many edible weeds to grow, and I'm growing weeds and viney-like plants because they are low maintenance. And it gives me time to do web development and go surfing and do my university studies and so forth. Now there's many of these like viney or weedy type of plants, both vinous and what they class as like weedy plants. I recommend that you grow for your kids because, for instance, this arugula is very nutritious, but yet it's titled a weed, and this is wild arugula, so it's very low maintenance. Just give it some water now and then. You know, just see if the leaves are struggling, if they don't look erect, if they don't look dark green, you know, if they're yellow. It needs some water. But in Australia we can't, for instance, get watercress, and sometimes they actually call it cress. They actually call cress watercress, so be careful. Cress is stuff you have to put in dirt. Watercress, you just put it in water and it grows. And so our nanny government, our nanny overlords here, the government, they say, you know, it's invasive and too pervasive and we can't grow watercress here. They don't sell it at the nurseries. I tried to get it. So there's things like mache plant, M-A-C-H-E, mallow, which I just showed you, nasturtium, which you'll see in other videos of mine, stinging nettle, that's also a good one, but the thing is I don't recommend that too much for your kids because it does sting and it might turn them off plants. Okay. So something like dandelions are also good because they've also got a pretty flower and you can eat the whole thing. Although they are a bit bitter, so they're not probably the best for the kids, again it might turn them off gardening or eating raw food out of the ground altogether. Again, why I chose the arugula, because it tastes good and is very nutritious for you as well. Now those flowers are actually my favourite flowers, edible flowers at the moment, because they taste really good. And you can pick one, like one a day. Okay. So now I had a quick look at the dandelion distribution map, and they will grow down there in the cold in Melbourne too. They're also good for the kids because, you know, they go to seed. Those things could be like fairy dust, you know how the dandelions go to seed and they get that, those seeds are real light and they blow off in the wind, so they're like fairy dust a bit, I guess. The kids could play with it. But in the end I chose Brody the arugula rocket and the wild version, not the broad-leaved version. Now I chose it for a number of reasons, which are, well, because firstly they are low maintenance, they'll grow just about anywhere, and they're indeed really weedy yet nutritious. So that means low maintenance if it's weed-like, because most weeds grow, I don't know if you noticed, without our help all around us. So you can spread these from seeds, both that and the dandelions, quite easy. They don't need a whole lot of dirt, the dandelion or the arugulas. They don't need a whole lot of dirt. They'll actually, I've seen a video of John Kohler's, that growingyoursgreens.com guy, and he actually takes you in one of his weed videos about edible weeds around his house, and he's got arugula just growing from cracks. Something like that. Just cracks, yeah. So it's very low maintenance. So let me continue here. I also chose the arugula rocket because of its flower. This appeals to the kids as it's a little yellow flower. Now the flower is good because it gives your kids some organic antioxidants, and that means anti-aging medicine due to the pigments of the flower. The pigments translate into antioxidative activity in our bodies, which means de-aging, or slower aging, sorry. Also the flower is good because I found I can eat one a day if I want. So it's high enough productivity to keep you interested in the plant and enjoying it and stuff too, which is important in my opinion, so you don't neglect stuff. You don't need to water these too much, and for instance you see dandelions growing everywhere and no one goes around watering them. And they're everywhere, So it's pretty similar with the arugula rocket. They'll need a little bit of water though, so make sure you do water them. I water these like every day just because I'm out here watering all the rest of the plants, but it seems to me you could get away with putting these in partial shade without basically watering them at all. So these are in direct sunlight all day, so that's also why I have to water them much more. So you're looking for low maintenance, remember, Brody, so it's a really good idea in my opinion to plant stuff in partial shade. Basically almost whatever the plant is, unless it really needs full sun, and that'll probably say on the label, or someone will tell you, or you can quickly find out on the internet. But most plants you can get away with growing them in partial shade, and you can water them less, so that makes all plants a little bit less high maintenance if you just think about what you're doing, where you're planting it and so forth. So I did need to really water it when I initially planted it, because plants get transplant shock as well, and I remember its leaves were not up and perky. As for instance, the leaves on it are really perky and up right now. When I first planted it, they were all flat, half yellow, and just not loving it so much. So I hope your kids will like the flowers, and that's one of the main reasons for choosing this one. Now lastly, I chose arugula because it is kind of perennial. It'll keep coming back and reseeding itself. Just make sure you've got some pretty good soil there. You probably don't even need that again, because it is pretty low maintenance stuff and it is wild arugula. So all the info I talk on about plants is always on the Your Natural Paradise page for anyone listening as well. Now, arugula is rich in vitamin C and potassium, and in addition to the leaves, the flower is often used in salads as an edible garnish, and you can just eat it straight off the plant too. Young seed pods and mature seeds are all edible, so the whole plant you're seeing is edible. So that's the main reason, I guess, I want to give this to your kids, because we don't want to poison you. Apologies, my camera went into sleep mode and turned off. So where was I? Mallow leaves are... Okay. They've also been used for heart disease, stroke, facial paralysis, tissue pain, swelling, inflammation, which is another aging cause, inflammation, sciatic nerve pain, insanity, nerve pain, nerve inflammation, ongoing achy joints, chronic rheumatism, and unwanted weight loss. Some people use country mallow as a stimulant, painkiller, and tonic to increase urine production and raise sexual arousal. It is also used before and after cancer chemotherapy to speed up recovery from the treatment. In herbal combinations, country mallow is used for weight loss, erectile dysfunction, sinus problems, allergy, throat disease, asthma, and bronchitis. These combinations are also used to burn fat, increase energy, and promote strong bones. WebMD. Again, on Your Natural Paradise page you can see all the references and links, as always, under the relevant plant. So as you can see, it's more of a medicinal than something to worry about, like some sort of drug plant or something. That's only one use of it, you know. It can be used as a stimulant and for erectile dysfunction and so forth, arousal. So that must mean it has CNS arousal, I think, I would presume, like plant hallucinogens. All plant hallucinogens, not stimulants or depressants always, but always the hallucinogens they'll give what's called CNS arousal, so this might be a bit similar since it's a stimulant. CNS is central nervous system, so if you don't know about the kundalini and chi energy and that kind of stuff, that comes in from the bottom at the coccyx and the perineum on our body, so at the bottom of our spine. So now, low maintenance purslane, I did want to go into as well. That was the other one, and I've mentioned stinging nettle and stuff. You can look into those if you want. It's just purslane actually is not just some weed, it's also, again, kind of medicinal. So, purslane, also called money yaroo or pigweed. Okay, I'm just going to take this down from a couple of pages to a bit more succinct explanation. Okay, the leaves are very small on purslane. You can go to the Your Natural Paradise in consciousazine.com to check out what purslane looks like if you don't know. So anyway, edible. The leaves are mild in flavour. This is purslane we're talking about, not the marshmallow that you're looking at. That's marshmallow in front of us. We just spoke on that. So purslane grows without any help in sun or shade, in any soil and climate, without fertiliser or water. So there you go. Let me read that again. Purslane grows without any help in sun or shade, in any soil and climate, without fertiliser or water. So that's really hardy, really weedy-like, and very low maintenance again. So its leaves are edible. They're mild in flavour, slightly sour, mucilaginous, so I think that's as in mucus, and an excellent source of vitamins A, C, iron, calcium, potassium and magnesium. Eating 5 sprigs, 10 centimetres long, of purslane daily provides over 550 milligram of calcium. So that's pretty good. They're pretty filled with it then. A great nutritional benefit to the bones for anyone from toddler, kid, to later years. So again, a good one for your kids, and again why I've mentioned this in the video and we're talking more on it. And again, you should visit the Your Natural Paradise page for more info and info on other plants and other low maintenance plants that you can grow. Brody, and anyone out there. Okay, scientific discovery in 1980 by Dr. Artemis Siopoulos that purslane leaves are a rich source of alpha-linoleic acid, LNA, the omega-3 form. We all know that's good for us, the omega-3, for our brains. So omega-3 essential fatty acid, and they don't call it essential fatty acid for nothing. Researchers have found that omega-3 helps provide protection from cancers and regulates the metabolism, correcting blood pressure, cholesterol and triglycerides. A recent TV presentation on EFAs, essential fatty acids, that is, EFAs, the acronym, highlighted purslane and the benefits of EFAs to the immune and nervous systems. Also for the brain and for memory recall, EFAs are good. EFAs nourish the body at the very foundation of health. Again, I guess why they call it essential fatty acids. Essential. So EFAs nourish the body at the very foundation of health, the cellular level. EFAs strengthen cell membranes and help fortify against the invasion of harmful microorganisms. So this is good for your kids, especially in a world where, you know, there's things like swine flu and we don't know if they're manufactured. There's conspiracies about it. I do a lot of reading. Not to say that I believe it wholly, but it would not surprise me from what I see in this world sometimes. Anyway, you know, going into the future that we're going into, basically, I'll just make it easy like that. I won't go into any of my thinking on this. Going into the future, you know, it's going to be a good thing to be healthy at the cellular level. Firstly, because of all the store-bought crap, you know, all the products in the stores, not only do they weaken your immune system and have no nutrition in them often, sometimes they've got harmful things in there that really harm your cellular level. Now, if you don't know about this kind of stuff, you need to look into things like aspartame. Just start there, but there are more. There are many others, and some of them are very harmful to your cellular level. So a plant like purslane will come in handy in the future. And even now. Purslane has a cooling effect on the body, and its high alkalinity is helpful in alleviating acidic stomachs and various other ailments stemming from acidic or toxic conditions. Now, on the all-around health page in consciousazine.com, I also have a post titled All Disease Begins in the Gut. So that's kind of what that was getting at too. Let's reread that. Purslane has a cooling effect on the body, not that part, It is high alkalinity is helpful in alleviating acidic stomachs and various other ailments stemming from, emphasis, stemming from acidic or toxic conditions. And remember what I just said about all disease beginning in the gut, and how we know cancer thrives in an acidic environment, for instance. So that's kind of anti-cancer too then, purslane. Because we know, Harvard University knows, if you need me to really tout and be a sheep person and tout something over astute because you don't just want to believe my knowledge, even Harvard has found in their little studies in the petri dishes that cancer does not proliferate in an alkaline environment, and it does proliferate in an acidic environment. So that's Harvard University. I can whack off more references if you all need to. And right now I'm hatefully addressing my haters. Okay, let's get back to the video. So use fresh leaves, add to salads, this purslane. Stir fries, quiche, egg dishes, soups and pickled. For relieving thirst, purslane leaves are held under the tongue, because they're quite rich with water. And I also want to say, water from plants has been filtered. So again, that's better than the tap water, where they put this fluoride and all this other crap in, like chloride and chlorine and blah blah blah. So, none of us like drinking tap water, because we can all taste the difference. And so, I recommend using filtered water on your plants as well, because like your plants are what they eat also. Okay? So that's getting into high maintenance, I know, Brody, but start with good soil and these low maintenance plants, and just use, if you have a filter on your tap, that's good enough. Just use the best water. That's not really high maintenance goings-ons. That's not too bad. Purslane is sometimes called pigweed, no doubt because it has been fed to stock, particularly pigs. Poultry also enjoy it, fed to goats and cows. So if you have any animals down there as pets, Brody, I'm not sure, then you can feed purslane to them as well. Purslane has a long history of therapeutic uses, valued as a tonic to the liver, the intestines and the whole body. It is an ancient Chinese herb for longevity. The plant contains dopamine, which has been found a real advantage for strengthening the pituitary gland and treating Parkinson's disease and other shaking disorders. So purslane might not just be for the kids. Many people esteem and eat purslane for the powerful antioxidant properties and its alkalizing benefits. Don't underestimate the healing properties of purslane. Even King Henry VIII in 1491 to 1547, so a long time ago, it is now the year 2013 I am broadcasting right now, so even that long ago, that King Henry VIII esteemed purslane. Okay, so to cool and comfort the king's member, he piseth. I don't know what that means. It's like ye old English that I'm reading right now. Today, anyone could try purslane for the kidney, bladder, urethra for men, prostate problems, and quite probably King Henry had an enlarged prostate causing pain with slow and difficult discharge. The king's recipe. Take 1 cupful chopped purslane leaves and cover with 3 cups boiling water. Steeped 30 minutes. Strain and take warm, several cupfuls at a time. And the results? The King's Highness had his pain and heat taken away. So they've written that in ye old English again, so they must have been reading some discourse about how he used that as a recipe to heal himself in some book. And there's one more page here if I can get at it. Or is that it? No, there's one more. Sticking together. Okay, lastly, but let's hope not leastly, another of King Henry's own formulas was to ease the pain and swelling about the ankles because his excessive eating and drinking had resulted in gout. He found great relief by drinking tea made by combining equal parts of purslane and chickweed. That's another one that's low maintenance to grow, chickweed, I forgot to mention. Anyway, let's continue. He found great relief by drinking tea made by combining equal parts of purslane and chickweed. Another low maintenance crop. Half a cup of chopped leaves of each steeped in 3 cups of boiling water. He drank several cups of this tea a day, about an hour after one of his traditionally heavy meals. Now, there's many different low maintenance plants, as I've mentioned. Another one there that I forgot to mention earlier was chickweed, that's just come up. So there's other things, but you know, that being said, each plant has its susceptibilities, Brody, and anyone out there listening. And you know, so this whole low maintenance thing really, I guess, refers to, you know, outside the realms of complexity of, say, what bug will attack it and so forth, because then that brings in maintenance. But I think the arugula is pretty good from bug attack. So far in my garden here at uni, nothing's attacked it. I'd imagine the mallow to be more susceptible to bugs, just because of the way its leaves are. I'd imagine maybe slugs even might like eating it. And purslane I don't know about. From what I've seen, where I've seen it grown, it never seems to be attacked by anything. So it is truly a low maintenance thing. So there's other things like Bolivian cucumber vines, passion fruit vines. Now the Bolivian cucumber you can see on Your Natural Paradise page yet again, and also about chickweed. See, other vinous foods, you know, passion fruit vines, which are also an MAO inhibitor, I hear. So you can make ayahuasca analogues for anyone out there listening to this, with passion fruit vines apparently. Vinous food plants are good once they get going, because they're very low maintenance and they very much proliferate. And you can grow them on walls or vertically, and I also encourage you guys to grow vertically to save space, or if you don't have much space, or you perceive that you don't have much space. Then there's things like what I'm trying to find at the moment: New Zealand spinach, Malabar spinach, very high nutrient foods, very low maintenance things, stinging nettle, which I've mentioned. Also mache plant, which I also mentioned. Okay, let me just finish with this. Actually, some stores name their cress watercress, but cress needs soil. Watercress you can just throw in water and it'll grow. So I think we need more law, L-O-R-E, and less laws, L-A-W-S, because law is expansive and laws are restrictive. So it's a great plant to grow, this watercress, due to its ease of growth, so to speak. As the government calls it, our nanny government, or big brother, says it's, you know, pervasive and invasive. So that means low maintenance, besides cutting it back to eat it. So we need people to know about it. That's what law is. Not restrict it and create laws to not grow watercress. We need more law. It just means we need more law on it, not more laws. We need more knowledge or law on the subject. A build-up of knowledge on a subject. That's what L-O-R-E, law, is. Rather than dismissing it and throwing it out of your reality and forcing others to do the same. That's idiot, unsustainable governance. It's not sustainable, and it's idiocy. That's shit-brained thinking. So this could feed many people, this purslane, this, sorry, we're not talking about purslane, watercress. So I encourage people to do what I'm doing here. For instance, I'm leaving in the tags so people have at least some information on each plant here. I'm leaving in the nursery tag, I'm not just throwing it away, so that's a little step, number one step that everyone can take to increase law, and so we can decrease these restrictive laws that they place on us. Okay, sorry, my paper flew away in the wind. So you can also grow things like mints and stuff, because they're quite low maintenance and they'll take over. If you grow mint, try and put it by itself. Don't put it next to other plants because it will take over. It'll send out runners and it just really takes over. So that's about it. There's more here, but I'd rather you guys go check out the website where it's better explained and you can have a look through the links thoroughly yourself and so forth. And so thanks Brody yet again for helping me out. He did help me out before this donation for the $30 Bandit, and thanks a lot for that Brody, and I hope you guys have learnt something from this and spread that lore around, remember. And this is another successful Guerrilla Grow. Benjamin Cowenberg from ConsciousZine.com.
Well, Planeteers, what seems to be the problem?
They're cutting down the trees.
Then I guess we'll have to plant some more.
Attaboy, Captain.
Let's spruce this place up a bit, huh? Okay! Haha.